So if we're not careful, I believe we get this from the tribes. We have Reuben, Simon, Levi, right? Issachar, Dan. We have all the tribes and the way they were set. Now, in the perfect world, we are supposed to be a family. We are brothers and sisters. We are around each other. This is what we're supposed to do. This is what's supposed to happen. But if we're not very careful, what ends up happening is we go and do things that we know we shouldn't do. And really, a lot of people, the reason they want to go do this kind of stuff, I believe, is because most of them don't want to work. They want a community. They want a bunch of people that is going to basically support them. So, can we condone it? Is it okay? Again, I believe the original form of it is from the tribes. Is from, hey, let's go and live this way, and that's the way we should live. There's nothing wrong. But in today's world, because of sin, because of everything that's happened, we know that we pretty much got to be where we are. Deuteronomy 32:12. So Yahweh alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with them. See, in the beginning, Yahweh was there. There was no strange gods. There was nothing. Obey me, and that was it. Disobey me. Still had the choice. Just Adam didn't choose to disobey. He believed in Yahweh. He come and talked with him. That was that, right? It wasn't until sin entered in that we start seeing other gods, other things, and more sin. Cain and Abel. And then we start seeing in today's world what we have. And there's no, there's no getting away from it. I think the community thing is a lot of it. You feel it. You want to be around like-minded people. You want to do this. You want to have these people, but in all actuality, you're not like-minded. How many people have the same calendar, believe in not drinking, not smoking pot, not doing this? How many people actually believe what the scriptures say? See, are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you doing it because, well, let's just go hide in the woods and smoke pot and do nothing and eat grass and everything will be fine? How's that going to work out? If we're not careful, it doesn't. Hebrews 10:24 and 25, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. So what we have here is we have verses that shows we're supposed to help each other out. We're supposed to take care of each other, right? But it doesn't say we live in the woods. We live somewhere where we're not supposed to, right? Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have your own animals and your own stuff. I think you should have your own animals and your own things. That way you wouldn't have to worry about the mark of the beast. You won't have to worry about certain things like that. If you have your own animals and your own things, it's not going to be a day's problem, right? With the way that we've been taught, well, if it happens, guess what? You can't buy no more food. You can't buy no more of that. So what has been set before us? So I understand the community thing, but you also have to understand that in most cases, the people do not get along. It doesn't work out. And the scriptures has to lead. There's women going and trying to lead people. There's people that just don't know what they're doing. They don't use the right names. Right? Name's Anthony and go by Elihu hum hum. What? I thought I was Elijah. I thought I was this. We have to be careful of people like that, and you usually don't hear that until you get there. And then when you get there, wow, right? The same thing goes for these community churches. We're in Tennessee and I'm whatever. if the guy calls himself rabbi, whatever, if it's not apostle, even pastor, which I'd be careful with in these days, but if he is not led by the Ruach, you have to be careful. And most people don't even know because they are not. There's a lot of people out there, beloved, that thinks that God has spoken to them and told them to move here. He has told me to go up in the hills. He has told me, and it's a failure. I know families, I know people, I know a bunch of chaos that has happened from Arkansas to Tennessee, and it's chaos. And they just will not relent that it wasn't God that told them that. You really think that the Creator told you to go live somewhere? No, it was some man. It was some Facebook. It was some YouTube. It was something that you seen and it caught your eye and you wanted to go do. You wanted to go try out. Because why? Life here is terrible. Right? Life where I'm sitting is miserable. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like the kids. I don't like this. So now what am I going to do? No different than what the world. I have a fresh start here. I'll go and change everything there. And what happens if you don't change you? Nothing. You end up miserable again. It's not the people around you. A lot of times it's you. If you can't love you, if you can't take care of you, if you don't know the Creator, there's no community in the world that's going to help you. Because you won't get off drugs. You won't get off all the things that's making you miserable. And of course, you don't think so, but you're miserable, right? Let's go on. Psalms 5 and 8. Lead me, O Yahweh, in thy righteousness, because of mine enemies. Make thy way straight before my face. How can you be in front of your enemies if you're off hiding in the woods? You see where the verses is saying, you see where it's leading us to. It's not leading us hiding away. Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art Elohim of my salvation. On thee I wait all the day. Psalms 25 and 5. We are waiting on Yahweh to tell us what to do. But instead, what are we doing? Oh, well, I want to go do it my way. Matthew 18:20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am among them. See, we don't have to have 20, 30, 50, 100,000 people in a community where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name. Now, if you've been around this very long, you can understand that it only gets about 2 or 3 people. If you're really doing righteously and really living and really obeying the Torah, if you're really obeying the scriptures, all of it, and not picking and choosing, it's hard to find more than 2 or 3, 5 people, 10 people. And these are big cities. You go to Panama City, you go to Chicago, you go to these places, and it's hard to find 10 or 15. Which, what else comes to mind when you hear that? Sodom and Gomorrah, right? All these other places. Oh, well, what if there's 50? What did he do? He pleaded with the Creator. He pleaded with Yahweh. If there be 50 there, if for 50 would you not destroy it? If there'd be, and what did he get down to? Think about it. Think about that. 1 righteous, 10 righteous in Chicago, St. Louis, Atlanta. Have you went to these places and seen? They may have synagogues, they may have churches, they may have this, but how many people truly believe? How many people on Passover doing Passover? And not inviting their whole family and making it something that it's not. How many people on Passover do what it says? Don't tell me you can't do Passover. You can do what it says. You can stand there with a rod in your hand and eat it hastily and stand there. Not set back, not lounging, not sitting at the table, not having a bunch of people over, not making a thing about the meal, to make it about Yahweh. To make it about when they left out, to remember what He did for them. See, we can get all kinds of people You get a band, some hot dogs and a barbecue and some pulled pork, and there'll be people all over. Hey, can I come in? If you do things worldly, there's no problem getting worldly people. The problem we have is we're dealing with people that are worldly, and we're trying to convert them. We're trying to give them truth. And if we're not careful, we mishandle them because we're trying to get them to do our things. Hey, come and have a community. Hey, come and live in the woods. Hey, come and do this. And the real whole thing we're supposed to be doing is what? Working out our own salvation. And then once we think we've about got that figured out, we share that. Hey, don't be doing these things. Don't be unsober. Well, what does that mean? If you can't define what sober is, if you don't know what sober is, right there's a problem. See, many people have their own problems. There's alcoholics, drunks, right? What's the difference? Well, somebody drinks a beer and somebody drinks whiskey. There is a difference. We want to pile everything in together and say it's all the same problem, and obviously it's not. Because if it was that easy, people would be fixed real quick. And community is not the answer. To take a bunch of alcoholics and potheads and put them in the woods, are they ever going to quit? You're not going to quit. You're going to do it more. Because all your friends are doing it. You're not coming to righteousness. You're not trying to live righteously. In your mind, and that's probably what your weed does to your mind. Manipulates. Look it up. What are the things that these things do to you? And if it changes you a bit, don't tell me it don't change. It. You can look it up. Medically, it changes your heart rate. It changes your thought process. Look it up. It's right there. If it changes you a bit, an iota, if it changes you just a little, it has changed you. Right? And that's the problem with community and people. They change. They want to go in the woods. They want to do things, but they're not living righteously in most cases. I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying the people usually there calling them in are wrong. Psalms 37, 10, 11. A little while and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. But the meek will inherit the land and enjoy the great peace. How are you going to be amongst them? How are you going to know they're gone if you're in the hills? You see where all these verses are telling us that obviously we are amongst them. We are there. We're not hiding from them. We're not going to change and make our own little communities. Because what do? I speak my love for Elohim when I lie down, when I get up, when I'm at home, when I'm out. I speak of the love of Yahweh. Deuteronomy 6 and 6 and 7. Do we do this? Do we share that with the world? Is it our own way? And how can we, again, how can we share any of this if we're not around them? Now again, we have to be very careful here because a lot of people think they've heard. I'm moving to Tennessee to be with this MTI. And I'm moving to here to go be in the woods. And what? Who has told you that? Who has told you that? John 10 and 27. My sheep hear my voice and I know them and they follow me. Like it or not, believe it or not, if you are not living the way you're supposed to be, how can you be told what to do? See, a lot of these people, again, are going to the woods, are going to churches, and they think they heard this, but what they're really hearing is their inner self, or their inner demons, that's telling them, hey, let's go have a party with these people. Right? Let's go live there. It's better. Again, if we hear Yahweh, what did he do? We have to put everything in perspective, because almost every one of us wants to go and live around righteous people that we believe, right? The potheads want to go live with the potheads. The drunks want to go live around the drunks. Why? There's no justice. There's nobody to tell you you're wrong. There's nobody to condemn you. And I would submit to you, 90% of these people that want to go and do this are those people. They want to live a life of sin and say, don't judge me. You can't judge me. Don't you dare judge me. Because why? Because they want to do what they want to do. Right? What good is this lighthouse if it's in the woods? What good is it if it's not where it can be seen? We are the lighthouse. We are the light of the world. We're supposed to be showing the world, but yet again, let's go hide ourselves. Right? Let's hide ourselves away. What good is it? You see what happens real quick? If we're not careful, we're doing what the world's doing, but we don't really realize what we're doing. Cursed is the man who trusts in man. Jeremiah 17:5. I mean, it's real simple when we start putting the verses together what we see, right? Psalms 27:11. Teach me thy way, O Yahweh, and lead me in a plain path because of mine enemies. He didn't say nothing about the hills. He didn't say nothing about the mountains. He didn't say nothing about that. He said, teach me. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. If we're not careful, this is not a place. This is Yeshua. This is not a destination. We have to understand, when a lot of people put these verses together, they say, oh, look, it says flee. Look, it says sell all you have. He wasn't talking to you. We have to know the scripture, the verse, and know what he's talking about and to. A lot of these people, the reason why they want to go have a community, they don't have nothing. If you have a mansion and a house and a car and all these things, are you going to sell them to go live in a tent? Not likely. You see, a lot of these people are already broken. You're upset. Your life is not going good. So what have you got to lose? That's not the way this is set up. This is not the way it works. So again, who you call upon? Some guy on YouTube, somebody that's saying, hey, come and live in the woods. Is it not written? Oh, well, what about Goshen? And they start telling you all these things, and what happens? You're listening to a man. Pure man. And then what happens? People go and say what? They go and they get in trouble. It gets cold. They go to freezing. Everything breaks. Everything goes bad. And then they turn up being mad at who? Who do they turn around and point their finger to? The one that they think told them to go there. They're not mad at the guy particularly. They're not mad at their self. They don't chalk it up as, I sure did wrong. Well, right? We all know where that leads to. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Jeremiah 30:7. If you're already hidden, if you're already away somewhere, how can you be saved out of it? See, the problem is man wants to save himself. Right? I got myself into this, I'll get myself out. But when the scripture says, but he shall be saved out of it, That's not being in the woods already. That's not being away already. That's He is going to save you. If we're not very careful, what we end up with is we are saving ourselves. We are going and saying, well, guess what? Here's the way it's going to be, and this is the way I'm going to do it. Right? When we listen to our heart, and we have to be very, very, very careful. We need to pray. I've seen, the reason I'm saying this, because I've seen people move for passion for truth. And exactly where is it now? I've seen families move to Missouri, or this side of Missouri, Illinois, or whatever, to move for passion for truth, because passion for truth is where they was led. And as it was getting ready to close down, there was people saying that. I felt led to come here. And you try to tell them, and while they, oh no, you can't convince people. If they don't have ears, if they won't listen, you can tell somebody and they're still going to run out in front of traffic. You see what's going on? We have to be careful, and there's no way, no how. And we can agree, right? If you've seen that family sitting there and you said, hey, this woman says this, you can agree that was not called, that was not anointed, that was not from the Creator. It just wasn't. He's not going to have you uproot, leave everything you have to go live into something that's failing, that He knows is going to fail. That was all man-made. The problem is, we do it, and we do it, some people do it daily. And again, we're looking so forward to that is what happens. We end up listening to our heart. You ever fall in love and you knew you shouldn't have? You knew you shouldn't have been with the person. You knew, but you love them. Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is more deceitful than all else, and is desperately wicked. Who can understand it? Who can understand it? I love this person, but they beat me. I love this person, but they ain't do no good to me. I love this person. Do you love? No. Your heart is deceiving you. The enemy is deceiving you, and you are all aboard because you have emotional ties. It's not love, it's emotion. And if we're not very careful, that's what we see. I want to go and be a shepherd. I want to go and be a sheep. I want to go and be this. And what happens? Nothing. We're from one hill to another. We're from one place to another. It's the same old, and what happens? Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my Elohim. Thy ruach is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. Again, it's not particularly a place, a destination. It's your spirit. It's what you should be. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. Proverbs 6:22. Proverbs 8:20. I lead in the way of righteousness, in the midst of paths of judgment. We don't really want that, do we? Do we really want to walk in judgment? No, that's why most people want to go to a community, so they won't be judged. I would lead thee and bring into my mother's house. Who would instruct me? I would cause thee to drink of spiced wine, of the juice of my pomegranate. Now, how many people heard that? We all want to drink what we want to drink. We all want to do and be merry. But when it says pomegranate, when it talks of figs, oh, well, we want to change that into wine and drunkenness, right? As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, They which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Isaiah 3:12. Who are we letting destroy our paths? People. I'm not saying there's enough of way too much of my husband is my leader and all that nonsense, and I can read the Bible myself. There's way too much of that. But what I'm saying, when it is not right, people want to listen to it. Before I was in the womb, he knew me. Jeremiah 1:15. He knows where he put us. He knows where we're called. He knows what we're supposed to be doing. He has plans for us. But what do? Well, we want to make the plans that we want to make. Have we talked about it? Have we repented? Have we done these things? Have we done all these things? Or are we just doing what we want to do? I have swept away your offenses like a cloud, your sins like the morning mist. Return to me, for I have redeemed you. Isaiah 44:22. Don't live in the past. Don't worry about the past. Well, I did this and I did that and I don't want to be this way. The past has nothing. You going to the woods is not going to get rid of your past. Right? If anything, you ain't careful, you'll be thinking about it more because you ain't got nothing to do. Thy life will I give thee for a prey in all places where thou go. Jeremiah 45:5. Again, we have to understand what's going on. We have to understand what we was called to do. And for most people, this ain't it. Living in the woods with some tarps with your family, what does that look like? What are you saying? I mean, if you are not called, if you're not helping, then what are we doing? What does it look like to you? And some of these people, oh man, that looks great. Oh boy, that looks awesome. Man, I can't wait. And they're there for the summer, they're there into the winter, and they're miserable. Now what? Now I don't know what to do. Now I don't know where to go. I don't know why I came here. I don't know, and now it all unravels. Why am I here? Why is this a part of this? Why did I do, and why? And misery. Now where do I go? Now how do I get a place to stay? Now oh boy, now I'm going to really look funny when I go back and ask people to move in with them. The light of the world don't even have a house, right? Don't have nothing to stay. Don't have nothing. And the thing you do have, you don't want a tent. Tired of taking a shower this way. Tired of doing this way. And again, for most people, you're not led there. For most people, this is not your life. And why should you make it your life? Are you healing people? Are you teaching people? Are you immersing people? Right? The apostle Yeshua shows who he sent. Who he sent, he anointed. They was ready for it. Here's your cooking and here's your place to stay. Enjoy life. We got to get away from our own ways of thinking and what we think is right as to what really is happening. Because in the beginning, sounds awesome to me. Let's go do it. And then what happens? Well, you know what? Welcome to the nut house. Real quick, it's went from community, tent living, solar powered, water running freely, oh boy, to losing your mind. Right? Oh man. What happened now? Now what goes on? And then if we're not careful, it happens to be welcome to the lake. And it could be the lake of fire, because some people are going to go and kill themselves. Some people are going to go jump off them rocks. Some people are going to hang themselves. Some people are going to commit suicide in several ways, because why? All because it sounded like a good idea to go live in the woods. Some self-proclaimed pastor, preacher thinks he's Elijah, called you to come somewhere, and everything is ruined. Now everything's in shambles, all because you listen to your heart in a man. So we have to be very careful. Now I'm not saying don't prepare. I'm not saying, oh my goodness, the world's all cherry and great and happy. I'm not saying, but the best way to prepare yourself is to do what? Talk with Yahweh. Pray. If you're not praying and talking, and I mean before, everybody gets a disease wants to pray. Right? Now you got cancer. Now you're dying. Now you're going to get right. Well, if you come in the house and you're stealing my stuff and you got an armload of everything and you're carrying the goat out in the other hand and I come in with a weapon, you're going to be sorry. You've changed. You're repentive. You're wanting to say, I'm sorry. I wasn't here. Let me drop this and leave. Right? Isn't the people doing the same thing? They're trying to save themselves. And I'm not saying that he won't have mercy. But what I'm saying, today is a day of salvation. Going away from problems cures nothing. You're going, so they're going. Right? It may not be that particular person. It may not be that particular situation. But if you created it there, you'll probably create it somewhere else. The main problem with most people is them. They create their problems. They create their chaos because they're chaotic. And they won't listen. Oh, pot's okay. Beer's okay. Everything's okay in moderation. To you. Right? So your own God, your own idol, living your way, doing things your way, and hiding in the woods is a part of that. Which goes into even funnier things, that is weed okay in your state now? Is it legal? Now the people that don't want nothing to do with the government, don't agree with the government, never agreed with the government, now they're okay with the government. Well, it's illegal now. Wasn't you the same person 5-10 years ago said the government was wrong? The government should now you're, oh, okay. Does that make sense? And what about all the people in prison? What about all the people that sold it? So now it's okay for whoever to sell it. But those people that are in prison, are they going free? They should be. Fair is fair, right? If you're going to legalize something, everybody that was pushing pot and got... But are they? No. I don't see them letting a lot of people out. And I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying justice is justice. And this, in no way, shape, or form, is that. Here's another one for you. If you ain't convinced yet, here's a good one for you. The Jim Baker Show, building a community. It's been done before, folks. This is not something new. If we're not careful, come to Goshen, come build a community, come in the woods. It sounds great, but it's been done. Why has it been done? Because people want to live amongst the same people. But if we're not careful, what do? We don't think. It sounds good, we go do it. Make America think again. Make America pray again. It's amazing with all the things going on that nobody wants to go and do the right thing. Again, Sudbury Community Arena. The name's even in it. Community. You probably live, some people, in a so-called community. See how new it is? we're not careful, we're just doing the same things that we've seen over and over. And it's in our head because we've seen it. It's right there. But does it make it right? Does it make it okay? Again, if we're the city on the hill and we're the light to the world, are we going to go hide that light? Can we go hide that light? Is that okay? Are we the one in 7 million that can go and hide in the woods? Are we that special now? He called me out different than everybody else. I'm different than all them. I'm all. Galatians 6:9, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. If we don't give up. See, again and again, verse after verse shows us that we are to endure. If we don't endure, what happens? And what about those people that's in the world? What about the people that work at Walmart? What about the people that work at the gas station? What about those people? Well, I'm leaving, going to hide in the world, hide in the woods. Done with this, oh world. See you later. Well, gee. That was the one person I seen smiling in the last 6 months. That was the one person, so now what do they have? Jeremiah 50:6, my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds had led them astray, turning them away on the mountains. From mountain to hill they have gone. They have forgotten their fold. Wow. So right here, Bible verse is about people leading you astray. And I actually got this in Arkansas because I went to a place and was trying to do community stuff and trying to see what was into it and what, because it sounds great. But what happens again, most people don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. They just want free stuff. And at the end of the day, who led you here? Who brought you here? Why are you here? That's the question. My people had been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. You notice it says their shepherds. It doesn't say, he says my people have been lost sheep. You're lost. So if you're lost, who are you following? Not Yahweh. You're not following the good guide. You're not following, you don't hear his voice. If you're lost, you can't be following Yahweh. Right? Their shepherds. Your appointed pastor, your husband, your appointed whoever, you in most cases, right? You have led yourself into where you went to. I can read my Bible. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. Come, let's build Goshen. Let's build the new Zion. Come and hide in the mountains. Come and hide in the hills. They won't get us up here. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten the resting place. Where's your resting place? Is it in the hills? Is that where we rest? Is that where we're... No, the rest is what? The Sabbath day. Come all who are weary or thirsty, come and... Where do we get that from? Yeshua, right? Yahweh, our creator. Your health, our everything comes from Yahweh. Even our salvation, Yeshua, come from Yahweh. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. We're in the woods. We're hiding. But we don't know how to keep the Sabbath. We think drinking beers and wines and all this is Sabbath. If we're not careful, what happens? The sheep get lost. And not only the sheep, the little children have nothing to do with the world, because what? And I don't mean the world. I'm talking about they don't know how to protect themselves, keep themselves, but they think whatever's happening there is okay. So again, how can they be the light of the world? And if we're all really going to be like Yeshua, if he is our example, then what did he do? Isaiah 50:6. I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from shame and spitting. Isaiah 50:6. If he didn't go hide in the woods, then why should we? If he endured the world and went from place to place and called people and said, come and follow me, then who are we to go and hide somewhere and say, oh, well, I'm just going to wait till it's all better. I'll wait till it's over. I'm only waiting for this. Then you're not doing your job. Because a part of your job is to compel them to come in. If you're only around your own people who believe and agree with what you do, in most cases they don't either, then what are you doing? You're not doing your job. You can do all you want, but you're not doing your job. Isaiah 50:6, I offered my back to those who beat me, my cheeks to those who pulled out my beard. The Messiah had a beard, folks. Again, he didn't do anything. Could we imagine? We want to go and hide away and do our own thing, and we're upset when somebody scoffs at us at Walmart, but look at what he went through. What is our example? I offered my back to those who beat me, my cheeks to those who pulled out my beard. I did not hide my face from mocking and spitting. Isaiah 53:5. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. We love these verses, but do we want to live these verses? If we're not careful, it sounds great. It sounds good. But do we want to live the way we're supposed to live? The terror you inspire and the pride of your heart have deceived you. You have lived in the clefts of the rocks, who occupy the heights of the hill. Though you build your nest as high as the eagles, from there I will bring you down, declares Yahweh. Jeremiah 49:16. Folks, if we're not living right, if we're not doing what we're supposed to do, if we don't know his voice, then we're going to be in trouble. How do we know that? For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, said Yahweh, thoughts of shalom, peace, and not of evil, to give you an expected end. We're not just going to die off. We're not just going to have uncanny things happen. Life, yeah, we're going to have problems. We know that. We see what happened to him. We're never ever going to be in a place where it's going to be peachy for a long period of time, because we're dealing with the enemy. We're dealing with the world. We're dealing with all that garbage and spiritual warfare. So we will probably never have in this life a longevity of peace. We can have shalom, but the enemy's trying to take it from you. Right? But our peace is the Sabbath. Our peace is Yahweh. Our peace is knowing and hoping if we get all this right, we will have a community with Yahweh. That's what we're shooting for. Not here. This world is not my home, but how many people thinks it is? Again, you don't even remember your resting place. So many people lose their shalom because of what? Because of what they thought was right. And how many people can be told? So when we come on the Sabbath day, when we come and assemble together, do we even take it serious? Once we repent and we're immersed, what happens? I've swept away your offenses like a cloud. your sins like the morning mist. Return to me, for I have redeemed you. Isaiah 44:22. If we do what he says to do, we don't have to worry about it. If we're doing what he says to do, we don't have to worry about the world. If we're not real careful, we're worried about what we're worried about. We want to go and hide in the communities because it's just that. It's a community hiding spot. Well, let's go hide. Have we not power to lead about a sister, a wife, as well as other apostles and the brethren of the Lord and Cyprius? 1 Corinthians 9:5. Do we not have the power to do this? We want to talk about the power we have and all these things, but yet we can't live in the world. We can't live amongst them. We can't show them how to be, how to act, how to walk, how to talk. Because most people, they're not looking for truth. They're looking for what they want. They're not looking for, oh, well, you know, they're looking for their heart. I want it this way, and that's the way I want it to be. If I can just have it my way, that would be so much better. Oh boy, if I could just have what I want, wouldn't that be fun? For no one will be justified in his sight by the works of the law, because the knowledge of sin through the law. Romans 3:20. Again, we can go and hide away, but the scripture says those who lead in captivity will be held captive. If we're not careful, we are set up to be in front of them as slaughtered. That's what is written, right? He sends us out as sheep to be slaughtered. Are we going to say, no, I'm going to go and hide? He didn't. Did he say, you know what, maybe next year? Oh, you know what, he didn't say any of that, right? Couldn't he have just went and hid in the woods? Couldn't he have just said, but he didn't do any of these things. He didn't start a church. He didn't go and start a community. He didn't go put up a yurt in the middle of the mountains. So why do we think we should? He walks amongst us. He walks amongst them. And what are we supposed to do? The exact same thing. We are supposed to show them what truth is, and how can they see if we're not around? What's the point of us even being alive? If you really want to get down to it, what's the point of us being here if we're not doing anything? Let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Matthew 15:14. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. So be it. Matthew 6:13. Mark 13:11. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what you shall speak, neither do you premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak you. For it is not you that speak, but of the Ruach HaKodesh. Oh, so if we hide in the woods, we can't be found. But he says, when they bring you up, don't even think about what you're going to say. Don't meditate on what you're going to say. He'll give you on what to say. Again, if you're putting your farm together, you're planting things, you're putting things together that is sober-minded, not steels and pot plants and all that nonsense. If you're planting, if you're reaping and sowing, that's fine. For your family, for others, cows, deer, goats, right? Clean animals. But if you're going to hide away to think you're getting away, you're not really going to get away from anything. And you don't think in today's world with phones that tell where you are and this tells where you're at, you think you're really going to hide in Arkansas when everybody in knows about Arkansas and Tennessee. Hey, let's go start a community in Arkansas. Let's go start a community in Tennessee. Look it up. It's online. Look it up. Off-grid properties, off-grid places in Arkansas, and they pop right up. Nobody knows about that. They'll never find us here. And again, says they're going to find you if you're living righteously. So what you hiding for anyway? Why you living miserable? Makes no sense. Right? Did he plan you to live that way? Or does he plan you to live nice? Again, if you're an apostle, if you're called to do these things, we see Yeshua didn't have what? He didn't have a house. He didn't have a bed. He was traveling. But for most people, that's not you. It's just not. Why put upon yourself more than you are intended to bear? There's a lot of people going out here doing things and they regret it. One of the worst things to be at the end of your life, laying on the deathbed wondering, what did I do that for? Why did I live that way? Why did I do that for? I didn't have to do that. I should have done it different. We all make mistakes. We all do our own ways, but we need to listen to Yahweh. We need to pray and do His will. I hope this has helped out. I hope it edifies for some of you that are out there thinking you're going to go live in the woods this spring. Why can't you go now? You see what I'm saying? I'm not challenging you to, and please don't. But when it's 15, 20, 30, if you wouldn't go then, you think it's going to be different next year? I'm going to go build this and be miserable next winter and end up leaving because if we're not called to do it, don't do it. If you can't find it in Scripture, if you find the shepherds have led you to the hills and the mountains, probably got a problem. And I'm even going as far as saying, if you're going to a church and they're not right, don't go there. Don't move your family to a place for a man, because that's what you're essentially doing. And how many of these men stop? Oh no, don't move here. Oh no, don't come here. Oh no, don't pay tithes here. Oh no, we don't want your money here. And you should. If somebody's coming from California to come here, it better be right. Especially as a family or leaving your family, you better be right. Because you're going to have to answer for it. And most people don't care. Well, I'm going to take your money now. Today is the day of your money, right? Folks, don't let men get you into terrible divorce problems and not seeing your kids and child supported out and all that for nonsense. Thank and listen to the Creator. Get a hold of a man of Yahweh who will tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. It's the truth. And that's how a lot of times you don't want to move, right? I've kept the Torah. I've done all you said. I've done all the things. Now what is there for me to make it to heaven? Sell all you have and follow me. And it said he had great wealth. He had many things. See, there's a difference between selling your old 78 Subaru and running off in the woods and having many things and giving it up. And the point there is, what do you hold on to? What is your idol? What is your God? Is it money? Is it mammon? Is it things? Is it kids? Is it dogs? What is it that you put before the Creator? So the whole point of it is not, the answer is not community. It's get rid of what's in between you and the Creator. Whether it's the TV, the videos, the pot, the dope, the whatever. Right? The drinking, the nonsense, the mouth, whatever separates you from the Creator is what you need to cut out. Going and hiding behind the rocks or on top of them, it's not going to cure it. So I hope, again, this is edified. I hope it helps you out. I hope you share it with others who think they're going to go do things like this, because unless it's really, really, really essential, it's a lot of heartache. So if you want to talk about it, let us know. Till next time, may Yahweh bless you. May His countenance shine upon you, and may He grant you shalom. Shalom, keep your shalom, and remember what the Word says. Keep your shalom and don't let the world take it. Till next time, Yahweh bless you. Shalom, and have a great and wonderful day. Shalom and blessings.